Basically just here to give you a little update. Got the engine back. You can see right there, got the studs removed, fixed the holes. And also on the intake side, couldn't film getting it in. It's pretty tough to get this in. I don't have any cameras I can set up. Yeah, ignore where the plastics are sitting. I put them back on basically just as a nice safe place to keep them. I don't like setting my plastics like just on the ground or whatever, because like it's getting pretty warm here in Oklahoma, and I've heard that like if you leave them sitting on the ground like in an awkward position over an extended period of time, for sure in warm weather, they can kind of almost settle into a shape. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's something I heard. So I'd rather not just leave this sitting on here or whatever, because like it can bend up or whatever if it was set like for a long time. Like it's not that sturdy. And so I just set it back on there. The tank, I got the petcock put in it. It's ready for fuel. The engine's mostly hooked up, as you can see. Got a few stray wires need to be hooked up. I got a new spark plug for it. Don't have the spark plug wire ran over here yet. Got the oil cooler hooked up. Not all the engine bolts are completely tight yet. As you can see, got the foot peg put back on. Had to get a new bolt for this. This one, the bolt was stripped out. I believe the threads are fine. I put anti-seize on there and it ran in pretty smoothly. I anti-seized almost everything on here. Yeah, I'm fixing to put the chain back on. I also have a case saver and a sprocket cover from 223 Cycle. I mean, not from 223 Cycle. My bad. From Swamp Outlaw. They make a really nice case saver and sprocket cover, stainless steel. They say 350X here. Super cool. I've got all the pieces from 223 Cycle to put the carb on. I'm going to do that. I did adjust the intake valves. That was pretty easy. They were pretty loose. Got them adjusted up. And the exhaust valves I tried to, but looks like the tappets are slightly damaged on the top side, so I can't adjust them down any farther to the valve. So they're pretty loose. I need to adjust them down, but I can't screw them down because it looks like the threads above the rocker arm are messed up a little bit. So I have a couple of those I'm going to get on the way this evening, so I can fix that. Those I can do that from in the frame though. I did these before I put this in the frame. Just made it easier that way. I need to adjust that. Got the new clutch cable on and hooked up. It feels like it's working a lot better than the old one. Guess I'll have to find out. But yeah, that's about all the update I have for right now. I'll keep you all updated as I'm putting these parts on, like the 223 Cycle carb, the Swamp Outlaw sprocket, everything. I'll keep you all updated, and hopefully in this video I can finish up getting this all put back together. And I got the studs for the exhaust. I went with studs, but I'm waiting on copper nuts. I was told that's the best thing to use on these steel studs, because copper is fairly heat resistant. Not super high heat is what I've been told, but good for like the heat that this will put off. It'll survive heat cycles very well, and it will not bind, corrode, rust to the steel because it's dissimilar metals. So that should hopefully keep it from ever like getting stuck together like these old bolts were and breaking off. Like I should never have that issue. The copper should always just come right off for sure if I anti-seize it. I'm planning to. So I'm waiting on those nuts and on the tappets up here for adjusting the valve lash. Other than that though, this thing I believe is ready to run. I believe I have everything here to make it run. So yeah, I'll keep y'all updated on how it's going, and there should be, I should have some more footage for this video, but then next, and hopefully get all wrapped up, but then next video I will start it and give it its first ride. Well, popped back out here this morning to see what I can get done. This is the Swamp Outlaw case saver. I believe it just fits right in there like that. Basically, what this does here is if your chain does derail or come off for any reason, it will keep it from damaging the aluminum case and basically just save it. And on top of that, right, bolting on top of that, you'll get this really nice stainless steel sprocket cover. Looks really nice. The ATC 350X is a really nice touch there. I really like these. I think they're great quality and an awesome product. For sure, if you want something that either you think looks a little better than OEM, or you don't want to pay the money to buy an OEM one, I think they look amazing. They work great. Yeah, so I'm gonna fix up a few things, get it ready for the carburetor, put the air box back in it, just a few things like that, and see where it goes. I'll check back in a bit. Alright, well, I can't lie, that took a lot longer than I expected, but I think it looks pretty good though. Like, it didn't fit as well as I expected. Like, these two holes slightly too close together, so I had to use a drill and put it in a vise and lengthen out the holes a little bit. Maybe that's common knowledge. I didn't know I was gonna have to do that. I thought it was just gonna be direct bolt and plate. Maybe this case has moved a little bit in one of these, making them slightly farther away. I don't know. Either way, not a big deal. You can't see it. The flange bolts, they cover up the holes. I just had to lengthen them out a little bit. Lengthened each one just a bit to spread the difference. Still covers, still looks great. Still love the product, but that's just the way it was. I might have been able to force it, but the bolts would have been angled going in. And I like it when they're just going straight in. It makes me feel better about not cross-threading it. This is aluminum, steel going into aluminum. So, but yeah, I think it looks great. Slowly but surely, I keep getting it back together. Got the air box in there. It's cleaned up. There's a little bit of dust still in here, but it's nothing that'll affect it. Got a new rubber mount for the CDI, I believe. Just hooks on over here on this side. The old one was so crusty you couldn't get it back on. It was just, the rubber was so hard you couldn't get it on. And so this new one just slips right on there though. The rubber's nice and soft. I believe that's about where that's supposed to sit. I might have to adjust it once I put the intake tube on and stuff. Got the new boot from 223 Cycle on there. I'm about ready to put the carb on, I think, and get it hooked up with its custom boot. I'm not sure if I'm quite ready for that. I need to hook up a few of these wires, tighten down a few engine mount bolts. But yeah, it's wrapping up what I need to do. You can see some of these are still loose. Got the stuff ordered to adjust the valves up front here. But yeah, I'm wrapping up on these things here, and hopefully I'll be ready to run, be ready to start it here, maybe by the end of this week. This is, well, end of this week, that might be a little soon. It's Thursday today as I'm recording this, but by next week sometime I should have this running. So I got the air filter put in here now. I do not have an air box lid. I'd like to get a hold of one. I don't necessarily need one. And also, I did not oil the filter yet. I don't know. I think you're supposed to. I'm not sure. Let me know if you're supposed to or not. I'm not really sure about that. But I did end up putting the grab bar back on, along with mounting the rear of the exhaust. It's terrible dusty. I'm going to wash it all up, though, as soon as... Let me run to the other side. But like I said, I'm going to wash it up, this whole thing off, as soon as I'm about ready to ride it. I'll wash this whole thing off. But that is the one thing, like, how do I keep water from getting in the air box on top of the air filter? I don't really want that very bad. But I'll figure out something though. Hopefully I can leave this hooked on here like I have it. I may need to loosen it to adjust it to get the whole exhaust to fit. But here's the other part. I think though you can wiggle it all from up front here and get it to fit in there, and I won't have to loosen the back, but if I do, it shouldn't be a big deal. Just wanted to see how it looked with the grab bar back on it. Haven't had the grab bar on in a while. Maybe I'll throw the plastics on there and see how it looks like that. I don't know if the grab bar sticks out behind the plastics or not. I like it when they do, because it's a lot easier to wheelie if you can step on that back grab bar. I know that some people are like, oh, well, that's not a skill to wheeling. You need to learn to wheelie sitting down. Yeah, I know. I know how to reasonably well on some other three-wheelers, but when learning to wheelie, like learning the power band, I really like to be able to stand on the back. Plastics back on it. Yeah, I like how far that grab bar sticks out. It's good for grabbing onto, for loading it in a vehicle or standing on it to do a wheelie. And like, I like how that exhaust sticks out right there. I'm really liking the way this whole back of this thing's turning out. I like the stance with the wheels, like the way the exhaust looks right there. I'm glad I was able to get the rear light working. I'd like to get a rear skid plate. Those have a skid plate that protect the bottom of the chain and also the caliper right there. I'd like to get a hold of one of those so I don't mess up the caliper. That's really the only thing I'm worried about. I mean the brake disc, my bad. I had a mental block right there and I was like, wait a minute, that's not the caliper, that's the brake disc. So I don't bend the brake disc or ruin it or the sprocket. But I'm really liking the way this is coming together. Obviously that's not hooked up. I took that off, so I put the engine back in and just set it there. I'll probably wait till I get the exhaust back on and the valves adjusted to put the front fender back on. But I'm really liking, let me just pull this off here, it kind of throws off the look of it. I'm really liking the stance that we're coming up with, the way that these tires are turning out. I hope I like the way these tires handle. Some people say they really like a 20 better than a 22. I went with a 22-inch tire. They're stock sized. They're not the stock tread pattern or whatever, but they're stock size. I'll see how I like them. Some people say they like a 20 because they spin easier. They're easier to drift, corner, whatever. But let me know what you think. If you think a 20 or a 22 will be better. And because I might be switching if I don't like the way these are. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Well, as y'all can see, the exhaust all mounted up. Come around this side, 223 cycles carb. The new intake tube, everything all hooked up. This thing is like ready to go, except for the valve tappets for the exhaust valves. Bought new ones because those were messed up. You weren't able to tighten them down far enough to hit the valve to get the lash right. They were too loose. And it looks like the threads are messed up, so you can only screw them down a certain way till they start to just galled in. And I just didn't want to mess them up by forcing them in there down there far enough. I'd rather just buy new ones, do it right. So I thought I'd copied the part number and got the exact part number I needed, but it showed up and they're too small. They're OEM Honda ones, but they're just the size too small, probably for like a 200 or maybe a 185, maybe a 110 engine. So yeah, I don't know. I guess this is it I can do for right now. I mean, it's ready to fire. It's all ready to go. Like this exhaust looks sick. Love the way this looks, but I can't fire it. So kind of here to just address a few things to end off this video. The tappets, not here. They're gonna arrive Monday. That's all I need before I try to fire this thing. And so yeah, you heard before, but I'm gonna be going on a little trip Easter weekend here. Be gone till Monday, but I'm hoping to get maybe next week I'll get the first fire up or video out and hopefully a ride and stuff. But really what I want to say is I am just so pleased with the way this whole thing has come together. Y'all know what it looked like. It was just a pile of junk pretty much. It was dirty, messy, missing a bunch of parts, not running, stuff like that. And look where we are now. I mean, I know it's not running yet, but look where we're at. All it took was just a little hard work, a little effort, obviously some money, but this is something that y'all can do yourselves. This is significantly cheaper so far than buying a good running 350X, and you could do it even cheaper than that if you're willing to cut some corners. Like, I did not have to buy all new plastics, but I wanted it to match. I wanted this to look good. I wanted something I can go out riding and I can just feel good about, and I wanted to do it right. Just like I didn't need a new clutch handle. I could have just got away with a perch, but the old handle, let me see if I can find it here. Junk everywhere. Look at this. Looks like somebody maybe got into it with some spray paint. I don't really know. It's got some darker spots at the end here. I don't know if that's just wear. But I had to get a new brake handle. This did not match. I know silver is the stock color, but I wanted to do black. I think it's just a cleaner look. Just stuff like that. Normal. If you just wanted to get a rider going, you can just cut some corners, get this significantly cheaper than I did. Or even just rebuild like a 200X or something if you want a good rider. You don't have to go this expensive. But this, I just wanted to say this here, that These Hondas, they're super easy to work on, and for y'all out there, I don't know why you watch these videos. Maybe you're just entertained by them. Maybe you work on Hondas yourself. Maybe you want some, but it's not that hard. Just some basic tools. Be willing to learn. My dad helped me with my first rebuild on the 200X, and he's helped me a little bit on this thing, but I mean, you don't even need that. Like, obviously I really enjoyed having him help me and just know what to do or whatever. Sometimes I didn't really know where to go forward, but look up either on Partszilla or on, I think the website's called MSNL or something. It's a website that sells, they both sell three-wheeler parts. Not all of them will be in stock, but they have complete parts diagram breakdowns of the entire three-wheeler, of all models of three-wheelers. If you're looking for any parts, go on there. You can look up where, like you can look up either like the rear end, the engine, the valves, the fuel tank, the front, the forks, anything, the seat, everything. They have a parts breakdown. You can get any of the parts you need. And even if they don't have the exact part in stock, you can copy the part number and go to eBay or other places and find what you need. But I just wanted to say that if you don't need to be experienced or skilled to get a project and start it. I know I wasn't when I started, and now look here. This thing looks amazing in my opinion. So yeah, just to end this off, just a little advice maybe I could give to somebody that's wanting to get a project, maybe looking to flip projects. Now this doesn't apply to three-wheelers, it applies to all projects, but if you're wanting something for your personal self, for your own rider or restoration, this doesn't necessarily apply. Like to this particular one, this doesn't apply super much. To my 200 it does more. But one thing I want to say is that I've learned this from other YouTubers, from other people, very helpful in my opinion, what I think. But when you're looking for a project, you should either try to get one that's either good running or in good cosmetic condition, one of the two. Now that doesn't have to apply. If it needs a seat cover, that's fine. If it's running good but needs brakes, that's fine. But think about it this way: if you're wanting to flip something, if you can buy a good running, like let's say 200S three-wheeler for $300, you put $400 into plastics and a seat cover and stuff like that, you're now $700-800 deep. You sell it for $1,200. You made a profit. But if you have to get that running and do the cosmetics, it cuts your profits by a lot. So like this 350, I knew that I wasn't going to flip it. I'm going to keep it for myself. That way I'm willing to spend the money for the mechanical and the money for the cosmetics. If I was trying to flip this, I probably wouldn't make a ton of money. But vice versa. Like, let's go over here. I bought this 200X. Lighting isn't really good, but I bought it in this condition. Really pretty solid. No, it's not perfect, but really a pretty solid 200X. The tank inside is really clean, so not bad. But it smoked pretty bad, needed a rebuild. I paid $1,000 for this. All I had to do is rebuild the engine. Not bad. Excellent rider. If I want to sell it, I'll probably make a little money on it. But just something like that. If you buy one that both needs mechanical and cosmetic, like a good amount of both, you may end up with kind of a money pit. This 350X did kind of turn into one. I thought it was going to have a lot less than I did into it. Now I have a lot more. I still think I could sell this for more than I have into it. Maybe not a lot, but definitely some. This is definitely cheaper than buying a good one. But I'm just saying, that's a tip that I'm definitely going to use going forward if I buy more ATVs or three-wheelers or anything and want to rebuild or flip them. Try to make a little money. I think that's something that I'm definitely going to follow. It's definitely something I wish I would have followed. But yeah, I just thought I'd put that on here for anybody that's maybe wanting to try this themselves or something. If you want to, best of luck to y'all. But I think that's going to end it off for this video.